This is School of Fish Part 10. Now we're going to talk about stop projecting when karma is your enemy. Now, a lot of y'all know that when it comes to projecting, see, a lot of different people of all walks of life, zodiac signs, they like to project. If not, use deflection. So we ask ourselves, is there any accountability? No. See, I'm gonna give you guys these 20 different ways, okay? How people project onto Pisces. Now, we're gonna talk about this because there's many consequences behind this. But when people project onto Pisces, they get mad at those consequences. Now, one thing we're gonna talk about is the fact that they call you sensitive while secretly craving your empathy. Everybody knows that a Pisces doesn't like to talk a lot, doesn't like to share a lot, and at times a Pisces may not want to give a lot. Now, the next thing is the fact they accuse you of being fake. Also, they don't take the accountability because they were wearing the mask first. But then they want to get mad at Pisces when Pisces shows them up or shows them another side of them. Now, the next thing is the fact they may call you lazy, but at the same time, they may drain your motivation and chaos. They'll put it like this. They'll drain your motivation with chaos, in other words. So people oftentimes forget about these things. What's going on, Ronnie Boo? Welcome. Pisces gang, we in the building. And we talk about projection. This was something that came up on me this morning to talk about this subject because, like, people think that their enemy is the Pisces. They think that whenever you are out and about, it doesn't matter what you're doing. When you're around people, you start realizing that people are projecting onto you the very things that they have going on, meaning their issues and things of that nature. What's going on, Starboy? Welcome. And see, when it comes to the fact that when we say you don't really have to do anything, you don't really have to do much, you don't really have to do anything to anyone for someone to project onto you. You don't have to do anything. So the projection, it really sucks because people get away with it. And a lot of times you might feel guilty and think that it's you that's doing it and you're not doing it. So when it comes to the next thing is the fact, they say that you're playing the victim, Pisces, but at the same time, they do this right after they betray your trust. See? So that's why I said when people project onto you, there's no accountability. Many people may use deflection for their sole purposes. They want to, basically want to flush on you and give you everything. But then when you try to give it back or take a stand, then it's almost like, oh, it's your fault. Or they might say, why are you mad? When they're the one projecting onto you. And then when something happens, let's say there's consequences, now you are the bad guy, but they don't realize that that's their karma. See, your karma can come in many different ways, shapes, or forms. So you don't get to pick the consequences that you have made for yourself. So when that Pisces does something or someone else does something to you and you start to feel as though, oh, that Pisces is going too rough on you, oh, whatever the situation may be, you may think that it was too severe, but that's your karma. Now, another thing is the fact that they will blame you, Pisces, for ghosting. See, but this is the thing, what they basically have done is they have ignored the fact that they disappeared emotionally first. So when you are not talking to someone, let's say You may be giving them the silent treatment. When you pull your emotions back, that is because they are doing so. They have done so first. So when a person project that onto you, then it's almost they get mad when you ghost them. But isn't that what you just did? You emotionally ghosted me first. You took back how you felt about the situation. So your karma is very quick. And see, the thing about people in karma is that people hate karma because it almost mimics their behavior. It's so quick and a hurry. It's very fast in your face type of. It's like a person that comes for you, and you feel as though that it's not the time yet, but you don't get to choose the time that consequence kicks in because you have done something to basically cause that reaction. Now, when they may say to a Pisces, "Oh, you're being very manipulative and that and such," but here's the thing: people that think like this and say these things, they have been testing you since day one. See, it's almost like everything's ass backwards because the very thing they're accusing you of is the very thing that they were doing all along to you. So projection is basically, that's what it means. It's basically trying to accuse you of something they're doing themselves. Trying to basically put you on the check and sign your name and forge your name on that check. So it's almost like when you do it first, some may say you're matching their energy. That's why I said that a Pisces is a karmic sign, because in a lot of situations and whatever it may be, problems to solutions, you oftentimes Pisces are other people's karma. See, being just your near presence of being in somebody's life could be their karma. There's good karma and there's bad karma. So you can have good karma where a person could be giving you the same energy and the same amount of fairness that you've given to a situation. But let's say it's bad karma. That same bad karma can be self-destructive. It could be something that you experience, but it puts you into that mind state of what you did to somebody else to remind you that everything is a balance. See, that's the thing. That's the funny thing about life, is that everybody has a balance. Everybody has good and evil in them. So you can't have more good than evil. It has to be 50-50. So no matter what you do in life, is almost like you end up breaking even, because just the amount of bad things you've done are equal to the amount of good things you've done. You never heard somebody say, "Oh, I've been good this whole entire year. I have not done one thing wrong to anyone or said anything wrong to anyone." That would be BS, because there's no person that can absolutely say, "Oh, I've been 100% goody two shoes for the whole year." So that's how you know 50-50, is that you got to count up those F-bombs. You got to count up all those negative comments or gossip, anything you've done that's considered wrong. Count up the times that you have done that versus the other half, the other 50. See, and then once you do that, you realize that, oh, you will see exactly why things are happening the way they are, because of a balance. Now, it's like let's say let's say on the contrary, let's say you've been, I'll say the word, let's just say you've been evil all year long, and then you do one good deed. You maybe take the garbage out, or you help somebody out, or do something. All of a sudden you might think that, oh, you may feel as though you're a good person because you did that one good deed, but it's like, no, you still are considered a bad person because all year long you've been bad. So it's like, you gotta do, it has to be a 50-50 situation. Your karma's gonna make up for that 49 minus that one thing. So you might have something devastating happen to you just to break even. See, to pay. It's almost like karma is like somebody you, if you could look at it in such a sense, like somebody you owe. See, that comes back for their payment. And see, they have the karma has one thing in mind for you, is to pay you back. See, so it's like, if you've been doing good, then all you have is good coming to you. But if you've been doing stuff that's just terrible, it's almost like you're gonna have to pay for that later. See, so imagine if it's you did something real bogus or just bad to somebody. That gets tally. That's a tally gets added on the list of the things that you owe, that you're gonna have to pay for. Regarding, if it's not, it doesn't always have to be something in money or materials, but you're gonna pay in such a way to cover that situation, to make it fair for you and that other person. See, so it's like, yeah, the problem with this is that you do not get to pick the consequences. It's a trick bag. It could come in different forms of suffering. It could come into great loss. You could just, let's say a person is just being just evil all year round. Then all of a sudden they get hit by a semi truck. Do you think for one moment that was a coincidence? Or would you just say, damn, what are those chances of you getting hit by a semi, right? Then you ask yourself, what kind of life did this person live? Oh, this person was an a-hole. Well, guess what? They got hit by a semi. That was going to make that person, it was going to make that person experience something that was so that was so devastating, that it was done to remind that person that this was all the bull crap that you caused upon others. So now you have to pay for it. See, but you didn't get to pick the consequences, whether you were bit by a bat, they had rabies, or hit by whatever it was, anything unfortunate that you wasn't really looking for. It tends to come to you. You can't escape it. Somebody will basically do you dirty because of what you did. So that's the thing why this is why I tell people, do the right thing, because you don't know how you're going to experience your karma. Your karma could come in a way that's so painful or just devastating, or just to the point where you would never see it coming. Just like you projected onto that person or inflicted some type of pain or discomfort or loss. You sleep with somebody else's wife, you're going to have to pay for that. The problem is you don't know how it's going to come back to you. See, and it's going to come back to you where it's going to affect you. You're not going to be able to take the type of hits that the type of hits that, or the whoopings that karma gives. You're not going to be able to protect yourself from it, because it's just going to happen at an opportune time. And then whatever happens afterwards, then you will be able to say to yourself in the hospital bed, this was because I did this, and this, and this. 50-50. See, this happened to me because I wasn't doing people right all year round. So now somebody burglarized my whole house and took everything. So you break even. So you didn't gain anything. You lost the same amount of stuff you stole from people, or whatever damage or whatever you did. That's why I tell people, don't do it. It's not worth it. And see, Pisces, one thing about Pisces is that you attract people that need healing, people that have issues. And a lot of times people are going to project onto you everything that's going on inside of them, whether they're doing good in the world or bad in the world. They're going to project onto you. So this is why people F with you. This is why people are bothering you. This is why people are coming at you, attack you. You may feel like you're being targeted. And a lot of times that's projection, see? Because they know that you're the empath, and they know, oh, it's time to project. It's time to trauma dump. It's time to dump onto this Pisces, everything which I'm feeling. And a lot of times you may feel, though, is that you are the problem. but it's not. That's not right. That's not true because it's them. And see, ask yourself this: when people project onto you, it's almost like a person that has it's like, okay, so it's like the little device that shows you an image. Okay, so it's like a teleprompter, something that just shows you something, and it's like, okay, you have to decipher what it is that's being shown to you, but you could feel it. See, you could feel where that emotion or whatever's being projected onto, because you know why? It's because you know it's not yours. That's how you know you're being projected upon, because it feels like it's heavy. It's a heavy energy. It's people putting onto you the way that they want you to feel, because why? Misery love company. They want you to feel the exact same thing that they're going through. They want you to experience it with them. So this is why if you're not thinking like this is why when someone projects onto you, it's almost like they may start some issue with you, and then you're like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? What did I say? Like, why is this person coming for me right now? They're coming at me with so much ish that it's almost like, what's going on? Why do you have an issue with me? And it's like they just keep going and going, and it's like it turns into a whole chaotic situation. But here's the thing: you ever notice when someone's doing this and you sit there and ask them one question and say, hey, why do you feel like that? They can never answer that. Why do you feel like that I'm doing these things to you, or you feel like I'm in your way? And it's not about you. See, because you want to know the funniest thing about this is that the people that project onto you, they know that their karma's coming. See, and that one thing in their unconscious mind of that person is to think and to know and hope that it's not you that's going to be the one to bring that karma. See, because that's the very thing people are afraid of, is how is my karma gonna come back? Is it gonna come through this person? Is it gonna come to this person and this person? And a lot of times that person that they're projecting upon is their karma. See, that's going to be the person that they're going to be appointed to get that karma. Karma doesn't always have to be something done that's physically done. Sometimes it could be something that is said to a person. See, let's say you tell a person, hey, you are this type of person and you'll never succeed in life. You'll never be anything greater than what you currently are with that mindset. And that might be the worst thing that person had to hear in the moment. And that could actually really get them to change. But here's the thing. Some karma is like the word I'm looking for. It's like a final stage. So it's like some karma you can't get out of. See, some karma is instant and it's over with, like where there's no coming back. See, so that's the thing why I say when you're being projected upon and and identify it as negativity, just know that it has nothing to do with you. Because that, like, when you put it like this, hurt people hurt people. So when someone's hurt, their objective is to hurt someone else. And see, you got to start thinking like that, because that's the same thing with projection. A person that runs from correction and that and the such, where it's like, oh, when it comes to a person trying to get out of something, that's how you know that they're using the projection. Because they know that the karma is coming, and a lot of times they just end up speeding it up. They end up speeding up their karma, because really, when you hear a person that's attacking you verbally or just saying things that don't make sense, and it's like, where's all this anger coming from? That person know their time is coming soon. So that's why they're trying to piss you off and get under your skin, because they know that their time is coming. And then the thing about it is, deflection ends up happening because that person doesn't want to take accountability for their actions afterwards. Where you know that person is doing something wrong, you can, hey, try to correct them, but you can't fix them. See, let karma do that. Let karma teach them a lesson. That's what karma's for. And that's why we really aren't supposed to seek revenge, because then what are we doing then? We are basically saying, hey, we're basically saying you're not going to receive any karma. But either way it goes, karma's going to come. And I'm going to tell you, people don't want to acknowledge that it was karma when it does happen. See, people still like to play the blame game and say, oh, well, this is a coincidence. And hey, yeah, that just so happened to Doug, where, hey, he went outside and he slipped down the pavement and hit his head on the mailbox on the little corner piece that connects to the lid. And all of a sudden, everybody's trying to make excuses of why that happened to him. It's like, no, he could have just been facing and dealing with karma. See, that he just so happened didn't know it was going to happen that day. And a lot of times that's the excuse people make, is that, oh, yeah, he slipped over a banana peel and hit his head on the mailbox. And it's like, oh, poor such and such. He's an old man. And hey, he has no, it's like the excuses are just really just wicked. Without one little thought, and just say, hey, what if he experienced his karma? See? Because your karma knows you're an old man. Your karma knows you're an old woman or a young lady or whatever it is. The karma already knows who you are already. See? So when karma steps in the way, that banana peel you slip on is the start. That's it. That's the karma ignited. And you couldn't protect yourself because you didn't see it coming. I tell you this. One time, I knew this was my karma. I walked up, I was delivering a pizza to a house, and I remember I walked up the stairs. It was winter. It was snowy and icy. And I literally did not pay attention to how slippery it was. And as soon as I ran up on that lady's porch, I slipped and fell and hit my back right on the damn steps of her porch. When I actually fell, I was just thinking about all the stuff I did bogus for the year. And I said, damn, I broke even. Because now I'm hurt. Now my back hurts. And I'm just sitting there salty because I know somebody seen me fall. I'm a little embarrassed. And I'm like, well, that's how I did somebody else. Hey, according to the past year, I had to pay for it. See? So it's almost like you just got to take it on the chin and keep it moving. Be glad and thankful that it wasn't worse than that. See? Because if it was worse than that, then it wouldn't have just been no slipping down the pavement and hitting your head on the mailbox. It could have been worse. It could have been you slipping, and then that could have been a severe injury. And then, hey, you could have went flying into a situation, maybe getting hit by something that's heavier or something that applies more damage to your body. And it's like, what would that feel like? You wouldn't want to experience that. But just imagine if you did do that type of behavior. Let's say you fired a young man on a job. You're the manager, supervisor, whoever you are. You fired a young man because of something stupid. You're going to have to pay for that. It might not come tomorrow. It might not come a week from now. It might not come a year from now. But best believe it's going to be a tally. It's going to be added to that list of things that, hey, you have to pay for. And the sad thing about it is, like, I'll say this, I'll tell you guys a true story where there was this recruiter through the agency where they hired, they send the nurses to actually like put them, give them work. And the recruiter was an a-hole. Like, I'm talking about, this man was an a-hole. And he had let one of the nurses, like, literally let one of the nurses basically he didn't pay her. She decided to leave the correction office. She was a nurse in the corrections, okay? Correction, however, I don't really know all the details concerning that, but basically she left the corrections job. The recruiter got mad because I guess the money that he was supposed to get, he didn't get it because she didn't stay long enough and she didn't put a 2-week notice in. So he was pissed. And then what he ended up doing was he made sure the 2 weeks that she worked with Skyping and all these extra pay bonuses and stuff, he made sure that she didn't get a paycheck at all. So, he basically tried to screw her over. Now, karma saw that, see? And don't you know, when the tables turned, that guy lost his job. Didn't happen right away. See? But someone came back to her and said, that crazy recruiter? Yeah, he's gone. He got fired. He got demoted. All these see how it just trickles down to where that person that was running their mouth, being and doing bogus stuff, ends up falling very far to the bottom, gets stripped. And now where is that guy now? He's in a humble state, see? He's in a humble state. And that's what happens to people that, they get arrogant, big-headed, and the ego kicks in, tries to take over a situation. Hell, hijack their mental state. They get humbled. See? Because that's just how it goes. You can't, like certain things that we all are guilty of it. You say something to someone where you could have done the right thing. Why do you think it's 2 choices? Do the wrong thing, do the right thing. Split in half, 50-50. And just the amount of good stuff you do in the world, it doesn't exempt you from bad stuff, bad things that happen to you either. See, that's the thing. That's why I always say, like, where you want it to be is you do more of good than you do of bad. That's the best way to put it. Because when you are at that 50-50 state, that doesn't mean that you're exempt from karma. See, because it's so many things we do as humans that we still are accountable for. And we have no control over, what anything bad happens to us or anything that good comes from it or happens to us. We can't control in which one comes to us. Because right now, I remember, I say it like this. I remember my great-grandmother. Everybody said, oh, great-grandmother, she never does anything wrong the whole year. And I said, well, that doesn't mean that she's a good person, though. They said, well, she wouldn't hurt a fly. I said, that still doesn't exempt her from anything. Because even she lived to be, 90 years old. And she still had to go through the same thing we all have to, put it like this. She'll still have to go through the same thing we all have to go through. That's a death. Everybody has to die someday. No matter if they're a very good person or a very bad person. That's why I say that type of stuff those are illusions. Because when people say, like Bob Marley, he made a statement that when it comes to the herb, he said, oh, he believes in his richness comes from living forever. But it's like, bro, this is why I don't smoke, because I disagree with Bob Marley. I really disagree, because that herb that you smoke, it's temporary. And it affects everybody's mental state differently. So it's like, it can make you hey, and everybody in anybody in the chat, do not take this, what I'm finna say, personal, because it's just my opinion. But I feel like with people that smoke, and I'm talking about people that smoke herb, okay? What I begin to observe with people that smoke is the fact that they try to appear to be, they like to appear to be smart, put it like that. But what I notice is that herb really makes them dumb. See, it really slows your memory down, slows your thinking down. And a lot of you go through this osmosis where you think that, oh, I'm so smart when I'm high. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because that same statement that Bob Marley said with the whole, oh, I don't really think about riches, man. I really care about the, living forever. That's where I'm rich at. And I'm like, bro, think of a person if a person was to live forever. Exactly. That's dumb. Dumb thinking. Everybody live forever, then what would we be living for? We live to die someday. See? It doesn't, and you want to know the funniest, craziest thing that people say, oh, well, if you eat the right diet, you take the right probiotics and all this bull crap, it's like, bro, you're still not exempt, fam. Like, you're still not going to escape that type of experience. What's supposed to happen and what will happen to everybody still is going to happen. So it's like, you can drink water, you can eat right, and guess what? It's still stuff in that food that can still take you out. You're not going to escape. So you see how just as karma is this invisible thing, we do not know who this person is. See? Because it can come in different forms. If you get bit by a dog, that could have been your karma. Who's to know that it was going to come in the form of a dog? See how it could you're not expecting something like that. That's why it happens with something you don't expect to happen. And when it happens, some people don't believe it or believe that it would happen to them. See, I know this one guy. He was a Scorpio. And he was in the military, and he slept with one of the, I think it was, don't quote me, but one of the higher ups, put it like that. He slept with one of the higher ups, wives or something that in the military. Now, when he told me this story, the first thing I asked the Scorpio is, why did you sleep with the dude's wife? And to me, that was dumb because you're on a base and it's so easy for you to get caught. It's more higher risk for you to get caught doing something like that. I'm like, why would you do that? He said, oh, because he was jealous. He was jealous of the higher up guy, and I guess the guy made him feel some type of way. And I'm like, that ain't even a valid reason you should have done that. But I was like, hey, just keep going. Just keep going. He's telling me how, this guy that he was jealous of, how he was doing so many things that he didn't like. And hey, he ended up sleeping with the dude's wife on the base. Here's the thing though, he got caught. See, and then he got kicked out the military. So, I kept that in mind because just as a Scorpio will weaponize any secrets that you may have, I had to use that and keep that in my arsenal. Because yeah, you best believe when me and him got into it, I brought that up. I said, well, hey, at least I didn't get kicked out the military, see, for sleeping with someone's wife, see, because that one right there, that's just too, see how the trade-off is not worth the punishment? It's like, to me, getting kicked out the military is just a humiliating experience, like, especially for that, like, so it's like to actually do something that is like bad, it's almost like, dude, you already got double karma. You already are experiencing the karma. See, his karma is almost like it's the kind of karma that sticks. See, you have to wake up every day and say, damn, I got kicked out the effing military, sleeping with someone's wife. That don't go away overnight. That's something that's like, that follows you, see? That's something that penetrates your consciousness to where your conscious mind is like, you just can't shake it. You just keep thinking about it 24/7 and make you depressed, affect your body in so many different ways. But his karma's so thick because half the time this man is doing so many bogus things. See? So the amount of time that he spends when he is doing the right thing, it don't mean it doesn't, it's almost like it's not worth anything. Because if you really think about it, an a-hole, a person that is considered an a-hole, that means that what? 80% of the time their behavior is a-holish. So if they say, hey, for this small percentage of the time, I'm going to be a good person, it's not really going to mean, it's not going to matter, because this person has done so many bogus things to people. Like, he told me that he slashed someone's tires because he was mad at him, like that type of stuff. I'm like, okay, now your karma is going to be 10 times worse because you did something like that. You know, someone may have had to go to work that morning, came outside and the tires were slashed because of you. See? So now the detriment that you used on that person, that's almost like ×4 for you. See? You got to pay it back, what? 4 times more. That's why I always say, do the right thing, at least try to, because at least you know, if you're majority of the time you're doing the right thing, then what? Only good can come from that. But it's like, you got to really watch that projection, because projection is something that it could be silent. It could be covert. Like, I say it like this. Let's say you walk into a room, even if it's virtual, and nobody talks to you. Let's say your friends or a couple people you know in the chat, and you say, hey, what's up, such. And let's say it's a virtual situation where you can see their face, say it's Facebook, FaceTime or some, maybe Snapchat, and you're looking at the person or group of people and they're not talking to you, but they normally do. That's projection. See? So in the very moment, a person that is doing that to you wants you to feel some type of way. Maybe they want you to feel left out. Maybe they want you to feel that oh, you don't belong, your voice is not heard. Or maybe they're just jealous of you and they're trying to minimize you as a person altogether. But if you observe that type of behavior, that just because you notice that person trying to make you feel some type of way, that lets you know that this person is projecting. See, they're projecting because that's how they are. That's how they feel about themselves. But they don't want to own it. So they're trying to put that on you to wear those clothes that fit that projection of which they project. See, always remember that, because you could walk into a situation and think it's you, because it feels though that projection that they're throwing up, they're trying to make it stick to you, and you realize that, oh, this person doesn't even know me. Why are they projecting onto me? See, that's just like you can be a young man or a young woman or an older woman or an older man. Let's say you always talk to your family members, but then one day you start talking to your uncle or someone in your family or colleague. And normally y'all talk about the Packer game, or hey, just talk about, just regular conversation. Next thing you know, the person just starts to, blow you off, or they start to talk to you, reckless or crazy, or accuse you of something or do something negative. That's projection. See? Projection is nothing. All it is a person that's taking their anger out on you, trying to basically avoid responsibility of handling the very thing that they should handle regarding the situation they're going through. But instead, it's more easier to project onto you because why? It makes that person feel, oh, I got it off my chest, or hey, I don't have to deal with it. It's not me. You know, living in a state of self-denial and just saying, hey, it ain't got nothing to do with me. I projected it onto you. So now you deal with it. See? But yeah, when you're a Pisces, this is something that happens to you all the time. Now let's talk about another thing. Well, people hate that you mirror their energy. This is why you really don't say anything when people are projecting onto you, because you already know where it's coming from. And see, that makes a person feel exposed. It makes a person start to realize that, oh, they can see your mood swings. They know exactly. Pisces pays attention to what you're doing, how you're behaving, how you're speaking, how you're talking, communicating. And then a Pisces is like, okay, well, obviously it was something that you hated about my actions that made you feel some type of way. See? Now, another thing is that people may think that you are being emotional or too emotional about certain things. And see, what that really means is they can't really handle your real feelings when they accuse you of this. See how that projection, it stems from a place of insecurity. See, if you start to talk to, let's say you're socializing with a bunch of colleagues or just family, and that all of a sudden you got that one family member that's not very talkative, but he doesn't want to hear you talk, see, because he doesn't talk. So it's almost like he wants to control you because you have something that he doesn't have. It could be related to confidence, or he just doesn't have much to say, but he can hate you because you do have something to say, or you do know how to hold a conversation, or you do have confidence to speak. That person doesn't have it, so they will end up projecting onto you and hate you because they feel some type of way. See? But it's ass backwards, because you're supposed to tell a person how you feel, and then flip that dynamic to where tell that person how you feel, and then the person can help you change that, or you could be healed. But people don't want to see. The ego steps in, so the ego gets in the way. That's why it happens like that. Now, another thing, they may label you, Pisces, as being toxic, and that could be just because you stop absorbing their negativity. See how you see the trade-off? So when you're not absorbing their negativity, then you get accused and projected upon as you being negative. See, that's why you got to know when someone comes to you with BS, they say something that you're doing and you're not doing it. Always remember that it's projection. They're reacting when they project. See, they're reacting to something you're doing, and it's triggering them, and then it's making them project onto you. It's almost like, hey, stop staring at my tail here. Stop staring at my tail, because you see through them. So it's almost like, oh, you don't want to hear, you don't want to listen to me. You're going to ignore me, Pisces, and give me that silent stare, that silent treatment, that silent gaze. Okay, well, hey, they'll go spread gossip and say, this Pisces is so toxic. I can't stand them, because they can't stand themselves. See? They can't stand themselves, and the fact that they can't get past that whole experience where you may make it look easy and you don't have that issue. So they project and say, oh, I can't stand that Pisces because that Pisces is a toxic son of a gun. And they're only talking about themselves. It has nothing to do with you. See, that's why you can learn from your enemies. And this is how it's done. By all you got to do, Pisces, is stay quiet. Observe. Stay quiet and observe. Why? Because the person will tell you everything you need to know about them. See? And then what you begin to hear is what? The emotions. The real them. See? When someone's projecting onto you, what they're really communicating is everything that they're doing. See? They're projecting onto you because why? They don't want to be the only one with that issue. Because if I'm accusing you of being toxic because you won't sit here and listen to my negativity all day, what does that mean? You're trying to give me 50% of your bull crap, but it's not mine. So hopefully you're trying to get a conversation going or an argument because you want me to feel where you're coming from, but you're doing it what? You're doing it in the wrong way. Because that conversation starts and it's like, oh, I can't stand that Pisces because that Pisces is toxic. But then what did that Pisces do to you? There's never anything wrong that Pisces did to you to cause that. What it is that Pisces stopped listening to your sob stories and your negativity. So now you're angry and you're upset because you got no one to talk to. So you project onto that Pisces and say, oh, that Pisces is just toxic. I don't like him. No, you're just toxic and you don't like yourself. That's what's going on. See? But it's like a spider web because you could get caught up into the trap, the bait. You could bite the bait, react, and say, oh, I'm not toxic. What do you mean? Now you're just giving this person access to you because now this person can what? Control you. See? And now they're forcing you into submission. They're forcing you to take on and absorb their negativity. See? That's why that projection only works on people that are weak. See? When they are weak, they won't take a stand or they're afraid to say no. But this is funny. The boundaries, if you have no boundaries, this is something that's going to be done to you quite often. But you won't learn to deal with it because you have to take a stand. You have to say no when you want it. When you feel like saying no, you have to say no. If you don't, then that person is going to control you. It's almost like when they're trying to control you, they're doing this because they're trying to protect their ego. See, people hate losing. See, a person that realizes that, oh, where's my Pisces friend that always takes me home after work? Where did he go? Oh, where's my Pisces friend that always takes me home from work? Where did she go? And then it's like, they realize that you're done. They realize that, oh, this person got tired of me. See, this person is hiding from me. That's how they feel. But then when they project onto you, Pisces, oh, I can't stand that Pisces. He's a freaking lazy, bum. And it's like, yeah, his car smells like shit. And it's like, they'll say these things. And that's the very car that, hey, belongs to that Pisces. And you're upset because the Pisces stopped giving you a ride. Doesn't want to hear your shenanigans anymore. So now you're talking ish about his car and his car smelling. And you're just saying things because why? He won't use that car to take you anywhere. See? So you project because you're trying to protect your ego and the fact that the Pisces stop taking you, giving you transportation. See? And when it comes to the next thing is the fact that once you start protecting your peace, Pisces, That's when people are going to accuse you and say, oh, that Pisces changed. Oh man, you changed, bro. You switched up. And you like, wait a minute, I didn't switch up. I'm just, hey, protecting my peace. So you get accused and projected upon because you've done something out of someone's what? Reach, control. Now, another thing too, when someone wants you to be angry and you forgive them, that's another thing. That's another situation where a person will try to project onto you, but they realize that, oh, why isn't this Pisces mad? Why isn't this Pisces upset? But the whole thing, they get mad because you forgave them. See, this is cold-blooded information. Like, people want, the whole point of a person trying to, okay, the whole point of a person trying to piss you off is to get you to react. See, so the minute you forgive them, there's no fight, there's no argument, there's no back and forth. You just basically cut it off. But the person wanted you to squirm. The person wanted you to react. The person wanted a drawn out, long situation to drag out. So when they don't get that, they become bitter. You know, they become pissed because you didn't get bitter. See? So you just say, hey, I forgive you. And then your enemy, he's going to be pissed that you forgave him. And then it's like all by the while trying to continue to what? Piss you off. Because he doesn't want you to forgive him. Because then what that's going to do is what? He knows there's no fight. See? There's no solution. He knows that there's no, oh. So this is why a person wants to keep it up, keep it going. That's why they say drama is almost like a flame. It's like something that ignites. So it's like, in order to keep mess going, you got to keep reacting. See? Now, another thing too, let's just say you're using your intuition. And let's say you appear to be right about a lot of different things the intuition shows you. Then all of a sudden people start projecting onto you saying that, oh, look at that Pisces. Oh, that Pisces is very, very delusional. He always thinks something's going on. He always smells something that's cooking when we can't see it. And it's like they want to discredit you because, oh, the whole mere fact is that what? You're always right. But people will what? Do the opposite and accuse you of being delusional because you're always right. See? So they really want to steal your energy when they do this, when they project onto you. They actually see your efforts, they see your good deeds and things that you're good at. But here's the thing, they try to rob you of that. They try to rob you of your gift and the things that you're good at to make you feel inadequate because of your actual gift. See how your enemies and those that your hidden enemies, they observe you very well. And that's the thing. So if a person will subconsciously, negatively attack you and project onto you in such a way, then it's like, wow, then maybe you should think that in the same type of way. See, to be able to understand it, because a lot of times karma and everything that I've explained, it's not something that just jumps out at you to where you can identify it. Like when someone's projecting, you might think that they're just, you know, having a bad day. No, that's not what's going on. It's calculate. Put it like this: it's something that's very calculated. So it's like they know exactly what they're doing. They wait till an opportune time to strike. And when they strike with that projection, it can actually keep you off balance if you don't know that that's actually what's happening. Like I had, okay, so another story. I knew same thing, a Scorpio, same thing. He was quiet quitting. He said he was gonna quiet, the whole quiet quit thing or whatever. Which makes no sense to me, because if you're gonna quit, just freaking quit. Why are you gonna quiet quit? That's just wasting people's time and it's just stupid. So he's like, well, I don't care. I'm gonna quiet quit. And he's basically like, he's just gonna show up for work and not do anything. I said, all right, well, what is your whole sole purpose though? He didn't realize or understand that I actually saw what he was projecting onto me. Because I was showing up for work, rarely called in, he wanted to see me fired. He wanted me to be gone because he was leaving. See that? He knew he was done with that job, but he hated to see me still there while he quit. So that's why he came up with the quiet quitting thing, just to buy himself some time, because he knew that I would basically take on anything that wasn't done, because I was the manager. So I had to make sure everything was still done, even if he helped or not. But it let me know that projection can really be draining, because with him just still showing up for work with that type of vibe, I just had to ignore it. I just had to ignore it, because if I would have fed into his little trap, then I would have got myself all caught up into. So I had behavior and just stay focused. I knew that in the back of my mind that, oh yeah, he wants me to quit, or he wants me to get fired for something. And he's just waiting for me to basically quit, so he'll finally quit. See, but he wants me to quit first. How do I know this to be true? Well, I ran into one of the people that worked there, and I said, hey, is Anatoly still working here? And he said, Anatoly? He's like, who's that? I was like, you don't remember Anatoly, the guy from Russia? He's like, oh yeah. He said, yeah, man, right after you left, he quit. I'm like, dude is a freaking clown. Like, he just wanted me to quit. That's the only reason why he kept showing up, because of me, waiting for me to get fired or quit or get in trouble for something. But that was projecting the whole time. He really knew he was done with that job, but he didn't want me to stay without him. See? Because Scorpios, one thing about them is that they have a hard time of letting go of something that's bad for them. See? Or something that's causing them pain. Best believe I was causing him pain, put it like that. Because I was giving belt to ass and every day, because I knew he just kept trying to sting me on every attempt. This man was trying to, he was trying to make me feel every blow for blow sting that he was giving. See? Because he didn't like me and I ain't like him. So it was almost like we just went to war every day. And it was like we was writing, we was doing vengeful reports back to back on one another, just going at it. But we was doing it all in a psychological way, because he wasn't the type of enemy that will fight directly like an Aries would. He was more behind the scenes, sneaky, in a dark place about it. See? But every time he tried to strike, I saw what he was doing. See? So nothing caught me by surprise, except that the last day I worked, I got fired on my day off. So that's the only thing that I felt, because it was kind of funny. But aside from that, another thing is the fact that when you're a calm person, people are going to project what onto you? When you're a calm person, people are going to project something that's going to cause a reaction within you. See? So always remember, look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing right now? See? Look at what you're doing, because as soon as someone projects onto you, it's going to make sense why they're doing it. You're going to say, what the hell? You might be the type of person that's in your room right now. You just got done doing 20 push-ups and you're just sitting there minding your own business. And then your heavyweight Your super heavyweight uncle walks upstairs, pounds on your door, and you're like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, are you gonna come down here and eat this pizza, man? I ordered 3 pizzas from Papa John's. Are you just gonna leave these pizzas down here? And you're like, man, I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to cut, man. Damn, I'm trying to cut the carbs, man. And he's like, yo, I just paid about $40 on these pizzas, man. You can come down and get some. But you don't see the whole fact that he wants to F up your whole workout routine. He wants you to eat those carbs because he's what? Super heavyweight. See? The super heavyweight uncle. See that? That's the thing you gotta watch, because people are really like that. Like, you could do something, even if it's something that's quietly done, even if it's a secret that you're working out. People can feel that subconsciously. They can feel the fact that you haven't even said anything about it, but they're watching from a subconscious mindset. They're paying attention to you even when they're not in the room watching you do those push-ups. Because why? What were you doing before you came up with that idea? What were you doing before you decided to do those push-ups? You were talking with what? You were downstairs eating pizza, chilling with your uncle, right? Then you broke away emotionally. You stopped talking to your super heavyweight uncle, went up in your room and started hitting the push-ups. You don't see that your uncle realized that you stopped talking to him. See that? And he's furious. Now he feels alone, because now he knows that, hey, you're doing something that is not including him. His insecurity is that he's what? Super heavyweight. He projects onto you how he feels. Hey, man, come down here and eat some of this goddamn pizza, man. How dare you go upstairs and start doing 20 push-ups? See how you're making me feel what? Insecure. You're making me feel fat. You're making me feel super heavyweight. Because it's 3 pizzas down here and it's just me. So misery loves company. He wants you to come downstairs and pick out. So you could be more like him. That's why people project onto you. But here's the thing. When you stop projecting and realize that you're fighting your own karma, see, you're in a fight with karma. You don't even realize it. Says what your super heavyweight uncle, once he realizes that, oh, I need to stop projecting because this is my karma. The very thing that he sees you doing is for him. Cold-blooded, man. It's cold-blooded. The very thing he sees in you is that is his karma. See? Because now he feels what? Insecure. Why? Because of his behavior. Why is it his karma? Because it's 50-50. You can't go the whole year pigging out. It doesn't matter for that 1 second you have a salad, my guy. It's not going to change anything. You have to apply another year of clean eating to balance it out. Then you will start losing weight, because you actually what? You have to pay for that year that you spent eating all year what you wanted to eat. So you have to do the opposite to fix. The osmosis is what? The opposite of what is being projected. Cold-blooded, man. Can't even make a goddamn cheese toast. I tell people this all the time. The very thing you're projecting, just stop. You're speeding up your karma. And you will see your karma. And that is your enemy. It's not the person that you're projecting onto. Stop aiming your gun at the person that has nothing to do with your karma. Because you're only hurting yourself. That person is going to show you what you need to do. See? Because you actually want to be a part of that. You want to do those 20 push-ups. But here's the thing, you just can't do it because you feel bad, because you know what you did last year when you was having those mukbangs, do those mukbang videos all year long. It came back to bite you in the A. And then now you don't want to put the work in to change your situation. So what are you doing? You're taking your anger out on your nephew for doing those push-ups. See? Because you know that's what you should be doing in the first place. It should have never got to where it is right now. But you know what the super weight, you know what the damage that it does? If the nephew is not strong enough to actually see of which is being projected onto him, and he takes it, let's say he takes it to the heart, or he thinks it's his fault, guess what? I'm gonna tell you, guess what happens to you when you don't know that it's projection? Then the nephew sits in the room. Oh man, my uncle's mad at me because I won't come down there and watch the Packer game and eat those pizzas with him. But man, I want to cut those carbs because I don't want to look like my uncle. And he doesn't even know that. See that? And the thing about it is your uncle knows what you're thinking subconsciously. Oh, he don't want to come down here and eat with me. Or he thinks I'm going to sit down here and be fat by my goddamn self. No. Your uncle's gonna come upstairs, knock on your door. If you don't let up and come off and get off them damn push-ups and come down here and eat with me, you won't eat at all. See that? Now you feel obligated. Now you feel peer pressure to go down there and eat with uncle because you start to people please, and now you're afraid to say no. You go down there and chow down on the pizzas just to please your super weight uncle. Now, you take on, when you do this, you take on the osmosis on yourself. And guess what it does to you? You begin to look more like your uncle. And guess who starts doing the push-ups once you start to what? See, the projection is, they want you to have that. See, they wanted to put it on you to wear those clothes that your uncle's wearing. So as soon as you actually accept it and you put those clothes on, you say, hey, give me your karma. Give it to me. I'll take it. Like a fool, you put on the same experience that your uncle went through. Now you're looking more like your uncle, and guess what your uncle is thinking about? Well, hell, I'm not going to be eating any pizza anymore. I'm going to go get me a gym membership, and I'm going to start doing some push-ups. Hell, why not? Why not? Why not? Well, I'm going to go do me some push-ups, and hey, I'm going to start with 5 and work my way to 10, and guess what you're doing? The same thing your uncle was doing and how he was feeling, because you allowed him to brainwash you. He projected onto you. He gave you his energy. You wore it. You took on the energy. So what did it have to do? 50-50. That's why you ever notice when people project onto you and you buy into it, now that person that projected onto you is acting more like you, of how you used to think. It's like you guys traded places. Now, once you start doing what your uncle was projecting onto you, now you're looking more like how he used to look. And now he's the one trying to do the push-ups. See? That's why you have to take a stand when people are projecting. You have to literally say that. Stop projecting onto me. I don't know you. I didn't do anything to you. Stop projecting, because that's how you feel. That's how you shut that. That's how you shut that itch down. See, because once you say that, well, what do you mean that I'm projecting? What do you mean I'm projecting onto you? Oh, so you think that me telling you to come down and challenge some of these pizzas with me? Hell, I'm your super way uncle. How dare you say that to me? Your uncle now, he's stuck with that, see? So you won because you said, hey, stop projecting onto me. Karma is your enemy, not mine in this situation. See? Because that's the thing. People will project onto you in the workplace, outside of the workplace, anywhere you go. People are doing this 24/7, and people do not even know that that's what's happening. Karma doesn't, like I say, no one wants to experience. You know why they're doing that? Because they don't want to experience the karma. They don't even want to know that they're actually facing their karma. See? They want you to think it's you that's making them feel like that. Now, when it comes to the next thing, once you detach from a person emotionally, what are people going to what are people going to say to you? When you detach emotionally from someone, what are they going to say to you? They're going to accuse you. Always remember that projection comes with what? Accusations. They will leave those false, they will say those false allegations. They will accuse you of doing something that you're not doing, but they're doing it to themselves. But they will say that you have forgotten about them. Why? Because they wanted to control you. See, anytime someone gets mad that, oh, you didn't dip, hey, you start picking up hours on the job rather than spend time with them. Guess why that happened? Guess why that's happening? Because they wanted full control over you. See? You could feel that because a lot of times you could be hanging with someone and it's almost like they're codependent. You guys are neck and neck as friends, or you're in a relationship with them. It's like, hey, we're neck and neck most of the time, but hey, it's time to break away. Hey, I picked up 4 shifts, or hey, I'm going to 3rd shift now. And you just need a healthy break. But unfortunately, when a person loses that control, that grip on you, then they start to accuse you. Oh, you're cheating. Oh, you're lying. No, you're not going to work. You just don't want to hang out with me. See how they're trying to what? They're trying to make you feel guilty so they can get that control again, see, over you. So the minute they feel they done lost the grip emotionally, when they see that, oh, you done pulled away, it's because they wanted control. So they're going to project onto you to make you feel guilty. And see, another thing, a lot of times, this is very, very powerful. I'm talking about super important. Did you know that the person that's projecting onto you, they think that you're their enemy? That when you and the craziest thing, I gotta get close and personal, because people that are constantly coming at you and targeting you, they think that you're their enemy. I'm talking to Pisces, man. That's why I'm talking to Pisces. People, you know who I'm talking about. It's like, damn, you might feel like, damn, I'm always having all these enemies. All these people don't like me. I ain't even done nothing to them. I don't even know these people. I don't even know the people that don't like me. That's crazy. But they sure know me. But did you know, whole time, karma already chose sides. See, they think that you're their enemy Whole time, you're their karma. That's why they hate you. You ain't even done nothing. You ain't even done anything. You can't even remember of something you've done to this person. But they already feel it. They feel the karma. See, you're their karma. In the whole time, they think that you're their enemy. Cold-blooded. Because you want to know something? How can a person say that karma is their enemy? Karma doesn't have a name. So how can you say, remember I said it comes in different forms. How can you say it's the enemy? Because you're projecting. Get it? You're projecting, so that's the only way you will feel that familiar feeling, because it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Oh, you're the enemy, but you don't know I'm your karma. See that? So if I'm your karma, how can you call me the enemy? How can you call me your enemy? Because you know you done something bad. See that? You know you did something bad. You're guilty. See, when you're guilty, you automatically think what? Everybody's your enemy. So when people project onto you, always know that and say, now you can have a smile on your face the next time someone projects onto you. Because as soon as they think you're their enemy, that lets you know that you're doing the right thing. Now you're like, hey, I'm just your karma, man. Nice to meet you. See? I didn't even get to meet you yet because what? You are trying to what? You're trying to avoid me because I'm your karma. My presence is making you feel. See, my presence is making you feel bad. I ain't even said nothing to you. But you identified me. See, first, you identified that, hey, I don't like this person. Remember I said karma doesn't have what? A name. Doesn't have a name. It's not like, hey, I know this karma. That's Brenda. Hey, I know this karma. That's Joseph. Hey, I know this karma. It's a cat. It's a dog. It doesn't have a name. Doesn't have a form. So how can you identify something if it has no form? And then when that karma is facing you, you confuse it as being an enemy. See? Because what is it coming to do? Make you pay. Make you lose something, give up something. Behave in such a way that you're not used to. See? That's the thing, because what is it doing? It is what? It's keeping order. It's organized. It's controlling. So when a person feels like they lost control, then they start to what? Freak out. They start to project because they feel like, oh, I can't be a certain way around this person. Can't be a certain way around karma. You just can't. See? So it puts you what? Off balance, because you can't consciously know what you're dealing with. And anytime a person is trying to project, what are they trying to do? Avoid accountability. See? That's why I tell people, now you know how to identify what's really going on the next time around, because now instead of you internalizing what they're saying to you, what they're doing, you're like, man, this person is projecting onto me because I'm basically annihilating them subconsciously. Your subconscious is stronger than your conscious mind. See, the very things that are subconsciously kept are the very things that are manifested first. See, everything in your subconscious mind happens first. It happens now. If you think you're going to get fired from a job, guess what? You are. If you think you're gonna get broken up with because of whatever, you are. Because why? You have stored those thoughts in your subconscious mind. Subconsciously, you're supposed to be thinking very positive about yourself. You're supposed to have big goals in your subconscious. See, in your subconscious mind, you should be thinking about, finishing school, marrying your wife, moving out of the country. You're supposed to have big plans subconsciously. See, so that those things can happen now. But when you store a bunch of gunk and junk, negative thoughts and doubts in your subconscious mind, your insecurities there, it's like putting your socks in the wrong drawer. See? And then those things end up happening first. All the things that you don't want to happen, but when it's disorganized and you can't really decipher which one is which, then all of a sudden you just unleash havoc and confusion in your life. See? Because that's where you put it. And it's very powerful because I remember when things were happening in my life. This is when I had absolutely no idea about the subconscious, everything being subconscious, okay? And what ended up happening to me, I noticed that everything that I subconsciously thought about, it happened first, see? And then I realized that, oh man, I gotta stop thinking like that. You gotta stop thinking negative. You gotta stop thinking like everybody's out to get you. Now, with trust, you can only trust a few people. Even, I'm gonna tell you, like, just hypothetically speaking, you only can trust the amount of people you can put in your pocket. And the thing about it is, you don't want to run. You don't want to run from pain. You don't want to run from a situation and try to say, okay, well, I'm a play it safe and hey, I don't ever want to get betrayed in life, and I don't want to you don't want to think like that, because that could actually put you in a worse state of mind. Now, if you actually just say to yourself and understand that there's 50-50 when it comes to everything. You got good people in the world, you got bad people in the world. That's a better way, a healthier way to put it. You know that you can't do everything for everybody. See? And then you have what? Those boundaries that we mentioned. That, hey, I will help this person because I know this person, and this person has done what? The same for me, if not more. That would be the person you could trust. But you just can't trust everybody the same. You can't put everybody in the same box. And that's another thing. Like when you say you got friends, you really just have associates. It's like out of all your friends, there's probably one person that you really are friends with. Out of those 20, out of those 25, out of those 50. There's probably really just one or two out of all those people that are really friends with you. See, that's the type of mindset you want to have, because when you start to treat everybody the same, then you're going to what? Remember I said, your karma is going to come in the form of showing you that you can't trust everybody. That's when stuff starts to happen. Then you realize, oh man, why is all this stuff happening? And it's karma. And when karma comes, you remember, it comes in a form that you wouldn't think it would come in. So it could be the next 7 people. They could be the next 7 people you meet that do you dirty, just to teach you that lesson, that karmic lesson that what? Can't trust everybody. See, karma is, we're supposed to learn from karma. It's supposed to get us back on track. But some people never learn, and that's why they actually experience it in its worst form. But it's really for us to learn and get back on track, because when you have those different dynamics of, friends and trust and loyalty and like respect, People oftentimes, they want to give it to everybody. And you just can't do that. Even if you feel that way, it's not possible that you could trust everybody. Now, when it comes to people, like I say, when you're quiet, there's 50-50. There's a lot of people that can't stand quiet people. Now, do you see what I'm saying? It's like 50% people might say, oh, I love a quiet person. Then there's people that are gonna say they hate a quiet person. See? But you ask yourself why? Because your quietness can actually what? It can speak volumes, even though you're not saying anything. When you're quiet, you are still communicating. See? That's just like you're sitting and you're calling your dog, your pet by its name. You're saying, hey, you're saying, Bobo, come. And then Bobo is still sitting there on the floor, and he's looking at you, wagging his tail, but he didn't listen to you. He heard you. He just what? He's just testing to see what you're going to do because he didn't listen. But that's the thing. You have to know that. Because why? He's still communicating. See? That's why I tell people, like, just because they didn't speak doesn't mean that they didn't hear what you said. It doesn't mean that they don't know what's going on. But a lot of times that's what people, they fall into that trap. It's just like, I'm going to tell you, let's say you just met a girl at the movie theater or at the mall or the grocery store, right? You two exchange numbers with one another. Next thing you know, you call her. She doesn't answer. Let's say you text her 2 hours later. She doesn't answer. But she did answer you. See that? Like, you see what I'm saying? She still answered you. When you called, she saw you call. She saw the missed call, she let it go to the voicemail. Then you text her. She saw that too. She just didn't want to reply. So she still communicated that she doesn't want to talk to you. How many times do people not pay attention to nonverbals? Nonverbal cues. They do exist. See how the person that says, well, she didn't answer my calls. She didn't answer my texts. So then you start to what? If you have no self-control, then you'll start to chase. And then you will text again. Then you'll call again. And then what? See how you end up showing your instabilities. You start to show the real you because what? You want that control. See? And when you lose that grip, that control that you crave, the real you starts to show. The mask starts to drop. Then what? You start calling her, you start saying to her, hey, I don't really, you start cutting down on her and start putting her down because what? You lost control. And little do you realize you just showed your true self. See that? Because that's the thing. Illusions don't last long when you actually what? When you actually wait longer. See, when the illusion is drawn, it's like a cloud. Well, we know clouds blow over, right? But when it comes to an illusion being found out, it's because a lot of times people what? They wait to the end. Notice I said wait to the end. So you can't rush things. When you in a situation, call one time. She not answering. She got the call. She communicated. That means, hey, I'll call you if I'm interested. I'll call you back if I'm interested. She don't call back, whoop-de-doo. See? Move on to the next. Women are like buses. If you miss the first bus, you catch the next one. See how if you operate like that, then that shows what? Confidence. That shows what? Abundance. That shows what? That, hey, you the type of person that you're not going to be feeling as though, oh, this is the only one. You know, and sometimes people will show their true colors when they feel that scarce, you know, that scarcity, what they call it, scarcity, or when they feel like, oh, they don't have enough. Sometimes people show you exactly how thirsty they are when they have what? They don't have much reserve. They don't have much of that of which they crave. See, or want control over or of, you know. So a lot of times what? When someone wants to they want you to hurry up and do something, a lot of times because they actually what? They don't have much of that. See? And that might be something you just need to see, because that will show you what? If you get with that person, that's how they're going to be. People treat you how they feel about you, and they treat you when it comes to a person being your friend. That's how they're going to treat you. That's why a lot of people like to skip that whole friend zone, that friends, you know, let's be friends. They want to skip that, because in that friendship, people will show the real them. Because there's nothing to what? Fight for. When you're in the friend zone, there is no mask. Because what reward is it? There is no reward. There's nothing to be like, oh yeah, I need to manipulate in order to get you to a what? State of mindset of what? Basically trying to get me to, you know, sleep with you or whatever it may be. A lot of times people know they're not going to get anything. What? They simply be themselves. They be to themselves. They just basically show you the innocence of who they really are. So it's like, if everybody comes over for birthday cake, and guess what? Yes, it's such and such birthday, but guess what? They don't have a cake. Or hey, maybe they're just simply not cutting it today. I actually had that happen, believe it or not. I had a relative that had a birthday, like a birthday party. And you know how some people just come to the party, you know, let's say they don't bring a gift, and all of a sudden they want, you know, they think they're going to help themselves to some food and some cake and ice cream, right? So at that particular time, I was one of those people. Just wanted to go to the party just for cake and ice cream. I really didn't want to be there for anything else, for what the event was for. So I said, okay, I'll go over there when the party's over, because I wasn't in the party mood. So I went over to the party, and it was one of my relatives, and they are, you know, a Leo. So next thing you know, after the party was over, you know, they had a cake there, you know, yeah, you could see the cake on the table. But as soon as I went for the plate and tried to get a piece of cake, guess what my relative told me? Oh, I'm not cutting. I'm sorry, we're not having cake. I'm not cutting my cake today. And I was like, you know, I'm sitting there with the plate, and I felt salty. Like, what? Are you serious? You're not cutting your cake on your birthday? No, because it's just one cake and it won't be enough for everybody, and I don't want to just give just a few people a piece, and then, you know, some don't, you know, I don't want to even start that. So she was like, oh, I'm just not going to cut it. So no cake and ice cream. I'm like, I swear to you, I had that feeling in my body was like, that's, man, you know, this is just bogus, but it was karma. See? Because I started thinking my relative was what? My enemy. Oh, you did this to me? Oh, you just didn't want me to have no cake. That's what it is. Because you knew I wasn't going to come and sit here and watch you do this and do that. But you know I was going to be a cheapskate and try to come and get a piece of cake and ice cream and just say happy birthday. But no, you try to stop me and say, oh no, no cake and ice cream. So I realized it was karma, because I didn't want to go. I probably shouldn't even have came. See that? So then it's like I had to live with the fact that, hey, I played myself. See? We're even. So what I do? I broke even. See, that's why I tell people just have the right heart when you go into things, because sometimes you can assume that, oh yeah, they got a party, it's gonna be cake and ice cream and food, but not today. See, that could be the very day you actually show up and there's ain't nobody getting no food and there is no birthday cake. But it's supposed to be, right? Most people, yeah, most people have cake and ice. Yeah, I certainly agree with you. Yeah, but not today. See? So you got to really go by your first thought. Your first thought was you didn't want to go in the first place. Why did you show up? Because you just wanted to get, what, freeload? You wanted to get a free piece of cake and ice cream and what, a hot meal. And then what? That's what it is. But that's the thing. When it comes to it, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Listen, what's your name? Leah, madam, whatever your name is. Don't come in here talking about I'm being too chatty, because it's a 3-hour live. See, this is a 3-hour live. It's the School of Fish. And this is how it is. But maybe you are just someone that just floated into the aquarium. Maybe you're just somebody that just floated through. Maybe my video popped up on your news feed or your whatever feed you had. And maybe you just are in the Pisces. See, because it's Pisces gang. And I think you just floated on in and didn't really know what was going on. Right or wrong. I'll let you go ahead. Let me see. I mean, yeah, I don't live in my car, man, but listen, you could think whatever you want, because, hey, if I look like I live in my car, hey, I might live in my car. But in reality, I don't. It's just more comfortable for me to talk to y'all by sitting in the car. See? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, man, that's why I said stop scraping and scrambling. I don't want no karma coming to y'all. So, hey, all the projection that y'all doing, the ones that saying negative things to me, that's how you feel. See? I might just be your karma. See? Be careful what you say, because listen, if everything you say comes back around, and then what does it do? It puts the belt to ass on you. So don't try to say, oh man, you did witchcraft on me. You said that this was going to happen to me because I did this. Look, man, the truth speaks for itself. Even though I got Black Moon, Lilith, and Gemini, hey, some things I say, it happens to people. But I don't wish bad on people. All I'm saying is be careful what you say. So everybody in the chat saying something negative, be careful. Because listen, the very thing you saying about me will happen to you. See? That's why you gotta just be positive. Just do the right thing. Shout out to Jay Hudson. Said he tapped in. Appreciate that. But that's the thing. Like, now I'm gonna tell y'all about, because you know I like to chat, man. I'm running my mouth, but hey, that's what this is for. Who doesn't run their mouth on YouTube? I'll wait. Name somebody that just gets on the video and don't say nothing. Now, when it comes to the zodiac signs that project onto Pisces the most, these signs will trigger Pisces, karmic mirror, and this is on 10. So I'm gonna tell y'all the very first one is Gemini. Okay. How does a Gemini project onto a Pisces? In the chat, let me know. Because I'm gonna tell you this. Now, the very first thing is Geminis will talk about you behind your back. That's the first thing, how they project onto you, Pisces. They talk behind your back. Not to your face, behind your back. But they act confused when you distance yourself from them. See? Because that's the thing you take away from them. They can't talk about you behind your back if you what? Distance yourself from them. So that's the very thing they become confused by. Now, the next zodiac sign that projects onto Pisces the most is Leo. See, Leo hates when a Pisces stops feeding their ego. See? So as soon as a Pisces stops doing so, that Leo is going to be enraged. Now, the next zodiac sign that projects onto Pisces the most is Sagittarius. Now, how does Sagittarius do this? They're going to call you and accuse you of what? Being dramatic. But then, as soon as they want to know the truth about something, this is when they're going to go to you to expose the truth. See? But they want their cake and eat it too. But then they realize, oh, it's just one slice. See? Now, the next zodiac sign that projects onto Pisces the most is Virgo. See, Virgo, what? Criticizes your emotions and basically, they want to go deep into conversation with you at the same time. They want to go down into the depths because they actually value Pisces of the very thing that you say and how you guys go deep into conversation about things and analyze things together. So just know the very thing of which you are when it comes to going into the depths of, going into the deeper analytics of a situation, the Virgo is going to criticize you. See, they're going to criticize how you feel about things when doing so. So that's how they project onto you. So always remember, it's something that they like about you, but they just don't want you to know when they project onto you. Now, the next sign is Aries. See, Aries, what do they do with Pisces? They test your patience. And see, the only flip side of this is the fact that they blame you for reacting. See? But that's the thing. You got to understand when it comes to Aries that they do this anyway by nature. It's natural for them to test people. See? Because it gives them what? It gives them that push to what? Compete. When you react. Now, Capricorn is the next one. Capricorns, they what? Project control issues onto Pisces. So then when that Capricorn feels betrayed, that's when you break free. See? That's the thing. Like, see, Capricorn is very, 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 very strategic when it comes to control. So a lot of times when you're dealing with Capricorn, it's almost like they try to put you into all these different situations of mind state of just, control, this and that. And they may have this is going on with, this is going inwardly with them. This is happening to them. But when they feel betrayed, that's when you break free. See? And it's so crazy because they don't oftentimes allow you to naturally do this. Because a Capricorn is like the father. See, the father is what? Cold-hearted, detached, emotionally. Well, it's supposed to be. And a lot of times when you're dealing with a cold-hearted individual, they don't really feel you. When they don't feel, okay, they don't really feel you when it comes to your emotions. So that makes it basically hard for you to really express yourself to a Capricorn. Now, when it comes to the Capricorn, when they feel betrayed, let me tell you why it's so easy for you to break free when they feel betrayed. It's because they don't have a relationship with them, with their emotions. They don't have any feeling. If you was to fall and break your leg or break your arm, right? You notice how you'll lose feeling in that arm to its heel, right? But think if a person just doesn't want to feel that they actually fell in the first place. It's easy for you to break free from them, right? And go on what? Scot-free without any type of backlash or drama or a fight. But that's the thing. Anytime that the Capricorn knows that they done something, they don't want to face you. See? They don't want to face you when they are the ones that betrayed you. But then see, this is basically what I'm saying is that when they feel betrayed, they go inward, meaning what? They avoid the people, the emotions, because they want to appear to be what? The father, cold-hearted about it. It's not saying that they don't feel anything. It's just they have a cold approach to it. So imagine you setting sodas or beers inside of the fridge. It's like, okay, well, what are we gonna do here? Are we gonna drink them, or are we just gonna let them sit here? Well, to a Capricorn, they're just gonna let them sit there. See, because they don't want to. When they get into that mindset, set subconsciously, when they feel betrayed, they cut everything off. See, emotionally, they cut everybody off. That actually gives you what, Pisces? The escape route. Allows you to escape, break free from them. Meaning, hey, that would be the time for you to lose contact with them, block them on Facebook, leave them to where, hey, because Capricorn is so controlling, they'll chase, they'll come after you. Like, they'll actually look for you and try to come after you in a controlling way. Like, when they actually feel otherwise, they'll come for you to where you'll feel like, whoa, why is this Capricorn on a hunt for me? They're like not backing down. Hey, you know what, Corruptor? That's really funny, man, because one thing that I could do that you can't do, and you come on the live scraping and scrambling with your riddles, guess what I can do better? I can hide you from this channel. Sucker. Now, you can't come to the channel anymore. How do you like that? Just lost your chance. No more sauce. You could actually get lost in it. Yeah, hey, I love it, man. But yeah, people don't like, see how he came in here projecting? He came in here projecting. See? So he had to write that, and then I'm his karma. So what did I do? Set the boundary. Cut the lights off. So, hey, can't be on that same account and come here. It is what it is. See, you always can do something. This is why I love about choices. You always have the choice to do something. When somebody do something to you, guess what? You could do something back. You don't fight. You don't have to fight the same way they fight. You just say, hey, you don't like what you're seeing? You want to scrape and scramble? Guess what? Go make a carton of eggs, man. Empress laughed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, people, that's why I said, no matter what, you cannot control anyone anyway. See? That's what, exactly, Elder. Nothing really matters. Nothing. We are just living as though, what? We're just living. But I'll say this. I'd rather be living than existing, okay? So either way it goes, just know that no one is what? Exempt. Now, you see, so the next thing is so the number one sign out of all the signs that I mentioned, that is Pisces' worst enemy sign. And this is, like I say, decades and decades and decades. It's Gemini. I don't give a, man, listen, it will always manifest this way. Now, those of you that are married to one, and you may say, well, real, me and my man, we've been together for what, 50 years. Listen, keep it a buck, keep it 100, keep it real. That it ain't, hey, I know it ain't selling on, it's not selling like the Titanic, okay? Like the Titanic before the iceberg hit. I know that, hey, it's been some ups and downs, and around it goes. It's not been a merry-go, so just know, I know for a fact it's not gonna just be peachy creamy. And no relationship is. But I would say this, it all depends on the upbringing. It really depends on the Gemini's upbringing and that Pisces upbringing. Because Gemini, why do I say this? Because Gemini is what? A duality. And this duality, what does it do? It clashes with Pisces' emotional honesty. A liar is different from someone that's honest, okay? We know that. That duality is so random that there's no truth, there's no honesty to a Gemini, to their duality. So this is someone that can actually just sit there and tell lies all day long, right? But make their lies sound like what? Truths. So then all of a sudden, if you're the type of person that just goes off of feeling rather than accountability, then this Gemini is going to run circles around you every single time. Now, the one thing that keeps that Gemini intrigued to that Pisces, both man and woman, is what? Mystery. See? Because the mystery is the fact that Gemini thinks you are just like them. When you guys communicate, you guys have some of the best conversations, right or wrong. But here's the kicker. That the Gemini fears your intuition, Pisces. See? Why did I say that? Remember I said that the Gemini finds themselves in others. They find their identity. See? They constantly shapeshift until they find something that they want. Now, they love your mystery, but they fear your intuition because you can expose their games. Cold-blooded. And you observe them from afar, so you know how to what? Stay silent. Silence is the kryptonite to a Gemini. Silence gets to them. Silence is something that they cannot stand. They cannot stand, and they'll do anything to avoid it. They'll fire you on a job because you're just too quiet. Because they know you see them and everything they're doing in all their games. And guess what? They want you to play. But guess what? You cannot find a piece to use on that game board. Because you just simply, Pisces, you just simply ain't going to fall for it. So a Gemini, what they'll do is, indirectly, they'll start some ish to get you a piece on that chessboard. They'll find something. They'll find a way to push you into that game, into their game, because it must be played. And see, once you play their game and all the things I just mentioned, guess what happens, Pisces? They flip the script. They flip the script and they basically try to what? Project. I'm going to tell you, why did I make this video? Didn't I just say at the beginning of this live, projection is Pisces' enemy? See? You, Pisces, are the karmic mirror. You are the karmic mirror. So if someone projects, that's what Gemini does, projects, right? Projects onto you the very thing they don't want to own. Even though it's what? Karma to their actions. They don't want to be accountable. Because what? The excuse is, we were just playing. We're just having fun. Why are you saying this, Pisces? Oh, Pisces, you're delusional. Oh, yeah, you're right about most things, but yeah, you're wrong about me. You see how a Gemini tries to tries to play both. They try to bounce off everything but the truth. Spin everything off to make them not be the one accountable. See? But as soon as you play their game, guess what? They flip the script. Didn't I just say that's the same thing projection does? You know why? Because what is projection? It's envy. It's jealousy. That's the twins of a Gemini. And that paradox of what applies to what? Why is Gemini the worst enemy sign for Pisces in the first place? I'm going to keep doing these videos because it's going to stick to someone's skull that Gemini is your enemy, whether you want to believe it or not. And I'm explaining different forms and the malefics of just how the behavior of a Gemini, how it shows in so many different forms. Because Pisces, your intuition is so strong that you can actually feel what they're doing when they're doing it. And they don't even know that you actually know these things about them. See? And best believe that they're tossing and turning in their beds, trying to figure it out every day. Why you don't talk to them? Why you don't spend time with them? Why you don't play their games? See? Even if they just, you know what's so crazy? When it comes to a fighter, like a UFC fighter, instead of, fighting you in one type of stance, they can switch it up, right? According to what you leave open, right? So if you're fighting someone, they could just switch it up and start wrestling with you, right? Just because, they got a grapple on your foot. They got a grapple on your arm. They do an arm bar, for example. Because that's just something that was left out. An open what? An open way for them to get in to project onto. To cause you what? Pain. See? And to flip the dynamic, aka flip the script. Why would you want to flip the script in the first place? To avoid accountability. Flipping the script, that is what? The arsenal of a Gemini. Change the story. That is what? Lying. Lying to make things fit. See? Everything that takes the focus off the Gemini is projection. Onto what? The cosmic mirror. Because what? You are what? Pisces, the karma. So that Gemini doesn't want to face themselves. See? For what? Their behaviors. So what is Gemini trying to do all along? This is the bonus question. What is Gemini trying to do the whole time? This is why they hate Pisces so much. The whole time, they are trying to what? They're trying to outmaneuver and beat karma at all ends. They don't want to reap what they sown. They really want to escape the whole, I'm accountable for this and that of what I did. Because in a Gemini's mind, I didn't do it. Until you prove that they've done it. That it didn't happen. So that's the whole thing. It's so hard to really pin them down and say, oh yeah, you're going to do this time because I know it was you. A Gemini will play that mind game and say, how did you know it was me? Show me proof. Show me proof that I did this. See? And you got to know. Because a Gemini will say, well, hey, you're just delusional. You think it was me and it wasn't me. And you sitting there going back and forth. Remember I said, if you don't listen to your intuition, then what happens? There is no talk. Listen, there's no conversation with when the truth is brought forth, the truth stands. There's no back and forth. There's no questions. There's no trying to just sit there and dialogue and analyze. It is what it is. But what a Gemini wants you to do is they want you to go back and forth to get you to admit to something that didn't happen. That's why it's hard to draw an illusion when you're dealing with what? A Gemini. Because the Gemini can disrupt. They can disrupt the truth, see? And what it holds and what it values and what it means. They can disrupt that. Just by what? Changing the subject. Throwing little curveballs to throw you off. And they can do this all while, being communicating with you. So that's why you got to shut it down and say, nope, no add-ons. I'm going to remove this situation because the truth stands. And I'll say that this last example is just like the jury in the courtroom. Once the jury decides it's over with, then what? The judge gets the verdict and boom, it's over with, right? But if a Gemini, could you imagine, once it's over with, the Gemini is still talking? The Gemini is still trying to say, oh, this person didn't do it. And how do you know that? They're challenging you, right? Because why? They're trying to avoid the outcome, which is what? Karma. They want to control what happens to them. See? In spite of. So that's the thing you got to watch out. Now, one thing I will say is that definitely for anybody that's been doing this, please stop projecting when karma is your enemy. Because only you know what you've done. Pisces, us Pisces is just mirroring back to you what you already know. See? So don't blame us when karma hits, that's what it is. That's your enemy. It's not us. Now, another thing is the fact that karma is it just collects what's owed, okay? It comes in, it's just like a person, just like a tax collector. It just comes in, everything you owe, that just comes and pick up a payment. That's it. Pisces doesn't go around trying to destroy people and hurt people. No, that's not the agenda of a Pisces. So yes, when a Pisces, karma comes around, it just collects what's owed. So just take responsibility and just, take it on the chin. Now, I would say everybody knows that Pisces revenge is silent. In other words, but karma isn't. See, karma is not always silent. Karma just shows up, bam, right in your face, right in your lap, and it is what it is. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I know there's a lot of people that are scraping and scrambling, but we're kind of used to that nowadays because it's 2025 and everybody just got their stamps. So the grocery stores are just running wild, crazy. We got Thanksgiving coming up. The weather has dropped. Where I'm currently at right now is 29 degrees. And it's not just about living in your car, it's about living life and not existing. So stop projecting when karma is your enemy and be good out there. And say hello to someone. Love y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.